how did chores get done in the Duggar house?
We have Jackson here to talk about it with us because he is the youngest of 10 boys.
You had chore responsibilities.
Yeah, he definitely was carrying a lot. I do have to ask you about these chore packs. I think parents are going to find this fascinating.
Yes.
And what is a chore pack? What does it look like?
It looks almost like a name tag. Like you have like a little clip and you'd have all your little like cards that you'd pull out and it would tell you what you need to clean.
So it was actually a pack.
All the little kids had them. And they would take a picture of you next to the laundry basket. And then you'd see like what was in there. It was a organization system.
All that.
I don't know.
It's crazy. Like she must have been doing it in the middle of the night.
How did your mom get you guys, question for both of you, to buy into this? Was it like Pharaoh in Egypt of like, you work your chores or you don't get lunch?
Yeah, I mean.
Or was there like negotiation? Like, how did this work? What's going on, guys? We're back for another episode of the Jinger and Jeremy podcast. And when people see a family of 19 kids, I think everyone is assuming that it's absolute chaos in the house. And we often get this question, how did Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar keep order in the house? And how did they get anything done? And so today, Ginge, we have brought in one of our favorite guests, one of our favorite Funkles, Jackson Duggar.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
We want to talk, how did chores get done in the Duggar house? Because, Ginge, you and I have been trying to get chores done in the Volo house.
Yes, we have been. I think that as you have kids, you're like, okay, you're old enough to do a certain chore. We're going to give you one or two things that you have to check off a list. It's tough, but then part of that is it would be almost easier to just knock it out yourself, but you want your kids to have responsibility. So it's like just taking the time to get one kid to do a chore is enough. But we have Jackson here to talk about it with us because he is the youngest of 10 boys. And so,
you had chore responsibilities.
Yeah, he definitely was carrying a lot of the load. And we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Get into that.
I think this episode is going to be helpful for parents who are trying to get their kids to do chores, a.k.a. me and Ginge. I think it'll be fun and informative because there was a lot of chaos with 19 kids. You can't hide that. And yet there was a lot of order. I mean, you guys got it done. So let's start here, Ginge and Jack. How did it work? How did chores in the Duggar house work? Give us a basic framework for this thing.
Well, I think, like, first of all, like, I know mom and pops were very organized with all this stuff. Every chore, I know mama had like the big like chart with a lot of like the chores lined out and I don't really remember all of how that was set up because by the time I was like old enough to remember, we'd kind of already done away with that system and we're on to
chore packs.
Yes.
Wait, what's a chore pack?
Actually, I do remember chore
packs. It just came to mind.
Oh.
Jack was the one. The younger half of the kids, the older half of the kids, my mom did have that master schedule.
Yes.
And it would fill up an entire door and it was time slotted with 7:30, wake up, brush your teeth, fix your hair. And then it would go down to like breakfast, who's going to make it. And then it would say like start school, music practice, wash dishes, get ready for bed, get a shower. It had everything lined out for each kid.
Whoa.
Let's just say mama could have been like the head CEO of some company and just it would have run smoothly.
I think she needs to write a book on time management and schedules and organization because that would be super helpful. The amount of times that she meal planned, things like that, right? Do you remember on the door? There was a
food.
Yeah, there was like a meal plan. I think on the inside of a cabinet door, you'd open it up. It had breakfast slot with all the options.
I'm not too sure. I never really
that
had
was
to
the
cook,
girl thing.
I never really had to cook much. And I mean, I would help out here and there, but it was more like, okay, Jackson, you're in the way. Let's go.
So Mama Duggar functioned as a CEO of a little company.
Yeah.
And she had all of her employees. Were you a janitor? Were you an accountant? Where did you fall in the line of employees?
Janitor, yeah, no. Yeah, I would take out the trash. That's kind of I'm not really sure. I don't really remember what my chore was when I was like younger, but like for a long time, mine was taking out the trash. And like, it wasn't like the whole house. Mine was like in the boys' room or the playroom. I would have a specific room that I would do my chore in. So it'd be take out the trash here, take out the trash there, and then we'd all kind of like clean the playroom. Like if I had played in the playroom and I was shooting the Nerf bullets, I'd run around, have to pick up, clean up, like the normal things like that.
I do have to ask you about these chore packs. I think parents are going to find this fascinating.
Yes.
There's a thing called chore packs. And what is a chore pack? What does it look like?
Ooh, okay. It looks almost like a name tag. Like you have like a little clip, and you had like it was like almost like laminated, but you clipped
Laminated
it on,
cards.
and you'd have all your little like cards that you'd pull out, and it would tell you what you need to clean.
So it was actually a pack.
Yeah.
It was a pack. It was a name tag. You literally clipped it on, and then it had laminated, like you said, the cards were laminated, and it had a picture.
Yep.
They took a picture of him, like, because this was when he was little.
Yep.
All the little kids had them, and they would take a picture of like them brushing their teeth.
I did laundry for a long time.
It would take a picture of you next to the laundry basket, and then they'd put that picture on a little card inside his name badge. He'd clip it on in the morning, and he'd do all. It said number 1, brush your teeth.
Yep.
That's incredible.
And then you'd put it behind the next card, and then you do the next thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
Make your bed.
Yep.
Do we have evidence of
I
this? Do you think
I
you
wish I
still
had a
have one?
photo of my. I think it's in my box
Keepsake?
back home.
Yeah.
It probably is in my keepsake box.
Oh, that's fine.
Wait, so
Yeah.
you would get clipped on in the morning, and you were what?
I would
7 years
just
old?
pick it. I would just go pick it up. We'd leave them on the bottom of the calendar is where I would clip mine. There was like several different spots where we
Yep,
have.
it was like a piece
but I
of
would
duct
clip
tape,
it.
right?
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. The duct tape. Yeah, it was on the bottom of the duct tape.
This
and
is
I'd go
incredible.
clip it on the duct tape and I'd pick it up every morning. I'd clip it on and I'd run around and do all my chores. And as long as I finished all those chores, then I could go play for the rest of the day. Or
Oh,
go
so
do
you
different
had to
things.
do those first.
So yeah.
Like you couldn't do anything else. You had to go through the list.
Well,
Say, did you do your chore pack, Jack?
yeah, most of the time when they would ask me, and then I'd be like, oh, I'd go finish it up. I don't know. Sometimes I'd finish it, sometimes I wouldn't. But yeah, most of the time I would.
But
I'd
those weren't all chores because like brushing your
practice
teeth
violin.
was just.
That was one of them.
So it was like school. It was like daily hygiene.
Yeah.
It was all of your responsibilities that you had to do as a functioning human
Yeah.
in this little chore pack.
Yeah.
How big was it?
It's just like a normal like name tag size. Just look at the name tag size. It was a little
But
bit.
how?
It was very thick plastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like one of those thick ones that you can just slide a name badge into.
I have a lot.
I have to
It had,
see
like,
one of these.
Yeah.
6 cards in it. I think we should do it for Felicity and Evie.
Okay,
was-
so that's
it's
the
pretty
thing
cool.
is like,
Black and white photos too. I remember that.
really?
I remember
Yeah.
that.
oh, you
Black
didn't
and
even
white.
get colored photos.
It's great.
Yeah, the thing for Felicity right now is getting her to buy in because Felicity is a businesswoman. And so when we have like college students over to the house, she will set up an art sale outside
Oh wow.
and she'll be selling her art for $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, depending on the size. And so in order to come in, these kids have to buy art from Felicity. It's brilliant.
Slowed her down on that because we were like,
brilliant.
you don't need to take money from college students. So then she
No,
discounted some.
keep taking
you know.
money from college students. But her wheeling and dealing with us is like, well, how do I get paid for chores? And so I've had the conversation that was had with me of like, well, you don't pay for AC, you don't pay for the mortgage, you don't pay for
Yeah.
she doesn't buy that. She doesn't, she's like, whatever. So she's like, okay, I want to do chores, but then how do I go above and beyond and do something to get paid for? So the other day I gave her 2 chores. One was to clean up an art project she had outside. The second one was to water the plants. And then,
Restock the fridge.
well, no, restocking the fridge was her wheeling and dealing with me. She said, okay, Dad, I've done the chores. What can I do to get paid? I said, well, we have friends coming over. We need these sodas to be cooled up or cooled in the fridge. So transfer them and I'll give you $2. Ginger
that was
disagreed.
not-
She thought it was way too much.
I said, you should pay her a quarter max because that's too much. I said, I think she should go clean out the car and get paid $2.
Okay, so we have, like, obviously there's been inflation issues. I don't even have a quarter. Like,
They aren't even making pennies anymore.
they don't make pennies
like-
anymore. So that's a
What?
problem.
What?
Get this girl a quarter. So I gave her $2 for that. Ginger thinks I overpaid. But trying to get her to buy in to chores, how did your mom get you guys, question for both of you, to buy into this? Was it like Pharaoh in Egypt? Of like, you work your chores or you don't get lunch?
Yeah, I mean-
Or was there like negotiation? Like, how did this work?
We want to take a break from this episode to tell you about Every Plate.
Look, Every Plate is the go-to dinner solution for busy families who have so much going on in their life.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you have picky eaters in the house, what I love is that you can choose the meals that are going to fit your family, things that they're going to love, and it's shipped right to your door.
And can I just give a personal endorsement as a dad? So Ginger, coming out of the holidays, like a lot of you, got sick, and she was late. When Ginger gets sick, she gets sick.
Sick.
So I was playing all the roles in the house. Every Plate makes cooking easy.
Yeah.
Even for a dad who doesn't know his way around a kitchen and isn't good at cooking, it is a lifesaver.
Yeah, for sure. It sends all the ingredients to your door so you can make quick and easy meals that are both delicious and great for your family.
Okay, here's our call to action. Try Every Plate and get $2.99 per meal. That's $2.99 per meal on your first box plus free steak. Listen to this, for a month. Go to everyplate.com/podcast. Use code GINGERSTEAK, STEAK, like a delicious steak, to claim your offer. That's GINGERSTEAK at everyplate.com/podcast to get $2.99 per meal on your first box plus free steak for a month. Offer varies by plan. One free 10-ounce serving of steak per box for 4 weeks with active subscription. Ditch dinner time dilemmas with Every Plate. All right, we've been spending a lot of time in bed over the holidays.
Oh, yeah. So I have to say, we were traveling over some of the holidays and we were, in somebody else's home, and it was so great, but I missed my Brooklyn bed.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's something about being in your own bed, especially when it's Brooklyn bed. So I definitely missed that. But then when I came back home, I was in bed for a week because I had got hit with the flu. And I was very thankful for actually having a comfortable bed.
Oh, it's a game changer. Think about all the hundreds of hours, thousands of hours that you're going to spend in your bed. And a lot of us don't even think about it. It's kind of like this secondary thought. Brooklyn Bedding provides affordable bedding that's insanely comfortable. We're not exaggerating. Best bed we've ever had. And we've had beds our whole lives. And it's easy to pick out. It's accessible. It ships to your door, rolled up. You're going to love it.
And Brooklyn Bedding also offers a 120-night comfort trial. Love it, or they'll help you return it or swap it out hassle-free.
So go to brooklynbedding.com. Use our promo code JJ. That's just JJ at checkout to get 30% off site-wide. 30% off. I'm going to lean in. 30% off site-wide. The offer is not available anywhere else. That's brooklynbedding.com, promo code JJ for 30% off site-wide. Support our show. Let them know that we sent you after checkout. brooklynbedding.com, promo code JJ.
Now back to the episode.
I mean, it was kind of like, do your chores, or let's go to my office. It's kind of
have a talking to.
Yeah, let's go. Jackson, you gotta practice your violin. You gotta do your chores, get these things done, and take the laundry, and then take out the trash that you have to take out. I remember those were my two things. I would take the laundry, put it down the chute from upstairs, the girls' room and the boys' room, and I'd take it and I'd throw it down the chute. And then I'd go to the trash. So those are my chores. And if I didn't get them done, then I'd go to the office. Or I remember school. One day I didn't finish my school, and Mama said, "All right, they're all going on a trip, but the rest of them were going. Like a bunch of the other kids were going with some friends to Devil's Den State Park. So they were.
You remember this, Jack?
Yeah, and I remember I didn't finish my school because I was being lazy, running around, doing whatever. My friends were there. I was playing around, having fun. And then they were like, "All right, we're going to leave." And I was like, "Wait, I didn't finish my math yet." And they were like, "You can't go."
Yep.
And so I remember being so sad, crying, and yet, I didn't go. And it was a good lesson for me.
You didn't
He still remembers it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I finished. I finally finished. Literally, it was probably 20 minutes after they had left, I finished. And I was like,
Bummer.
yeah.
I should have
was like,
done
bummer.
that.
I should have had more
Did you
responsibility.
ever do that again? You probably didn't, did you?
No,
probably
I finished.
didn't.
Whenever I knew something was coming, then I would prepare and I would get it done. Right. I'd wake up early and get it done if I had to.
Yeah.
Yep. I probably messed up. I probably did it again at some point.
So here's one of the best tips that your mom ever gave to me as a parent. And she, I think, was known for this, but like her word meant what her word said. Like if she said it, she meant it. Mm-hmm. So if she said, "We're not going to touch anything in the grocery store. Mm-hmm. If you touch anything, we're going to leave," somebody touches something with all the little kids, she'd go, okay, we're going to leave. And they all left. And it was like the only way for her to wrangle in all of these kids was when she spoke, she meant it.
Yes.
And you guys learned that very quickly.
Yeah.
And she would speak very carefully though. That's the thing. 'Cause she wouldn't just say, I'm going to do this, because like if she wasn't actually willing to do it, she wouldn't do it. So like she would, all right, I'll take you to the van and we'll have some encouragement in the van, you know, when we get out there. So she was very purposeful with what she said at that point too, because she would, you know, do what she said, like you said.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, your chores developed through the years. What I think is so interesting is the fact that not only did you guys have chores, but you had certain kids had certain chores in certain zones in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the organizational structure on that is phenomenal. That needs to be studied.
Incredible, really. So, Jack, what was your chore? So, like, fast forward past your little years when you had your chore pack, you moved beyond the chore pack. What are some chores that you had as, say, like a 10-year-old kid, 10 up to like, say, 14?
Okay,
What
I'd have
did
to remember
you do?
who was out of the house at that point, who was already married, who was kind of moving on. Because by that point, like, I would have probably already took over the trash, like a lot of the trash, like all of it, maybe.
Okay.
And Tyler and I were probably working on a lot of that at that point. So it would have been, we would have done that together. Because for a long time, Tyler and we shared the same like chores, so I could like show him how to do it, and then he kind of like got his own, and it was, so we kind of would share, like he would do this half of the house, I'd do this half. We ended up getting like the whole house, which ended up being a lot of trash.
That's a lot of trash. You guys don't have like trash cans outside. You have dumpsters.
Dumpster. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't you have more than one dumpster?
We have one dumpster, and then sometimes if we have extra trash, then we'll put it in like one of the dump trailers.
And just take it to the landfill across the street.
Yeah, so we'll load it up in one of the dump trailers or in the back of the truck and then take it over to the landfill.
So walk us through one day of doing trash in the Duggar house. What rooms are you going to? How much trash are you collecting?
I start in all the small rooms first. So I'll start up in the boys' room because it's the furthest from the kitchen, and the kitchen has all the big trash cans. So I start, and I will oftentimes, if it's like, all right, I did this yesterday, I'm going to just take the trash and I'm going to dump it into another one. So I'll fill up all the ones until I get one. We have like there's 4 trash cans, depending on 5 at one point because Elijah's room was there. So there was 4 in the boys' room. 2 bathrooms, studio room, and then the main one in the main room, and then 5 with Elijah. So I would dump them all into the main one. Then I'd take that bag, and then I'd run downstairs, and I'd run over to the playroom, and I'd empty all the playroom because they have only small ones in there. I'd empty all the playroom bags into that one, and then I'd go over to the laundry room, and I'd put all of it into the laundry room one, unless the laundry room was smaller. Then I would run that over to the other side, and then I'd get to the big ones, and I'd start emptying those ones. Most of the time, I would just take the liners out because they were most of the time full, but sometimes I'd leave them till the next day, and then I'd run all that and put it in the wagon.
What about the girls' room?
Running out. Oh,
Mom,
the girls'
Pop's
room.
You forgot about the girls'
I forgot. That's actually funny because Tyler did the girls' room
he did
for the
the other
longest
side.
time. Yeah, he would do the girls' room, and then sometimes that's funny. But no, I would run. Yeah, I'd run over there. That's normally I'd do that after the boys' room. I'd run across, grab it, and normally the girls would like throw their trash just like they leave it outside the door.
Yeah.
And then I'd just run and grab it and run it out downstairs.
But then you've got the kitchen, and that's the big stuff.
Yeah, the kitchens were all the big
multiple
trash
big
cans.
Those massive Costco like drumliner ones.
Yeah.
That's what you would take out. So
there's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the mailroom 6. So there's 6 trash cans, big ones on that side of the house, and they're all big black trash bags, and you pull them out, and the big liners and the big drum barrel ones, and some of them are the smaller, but they're still the big ones. Yeah.
Talk about Tyler, your partner. Was he a good trash collecting partner?
Yeah, sometimes. Ty, if you're watching this,
you had to keep him on task
most of the time.
He wasn't as enthusiastic about the trash, or what?
Yeah, no, we were both, I don't know, we were both kind of spot,
You didn't have
go
all
back and
that.
forth.
Yeah, you weren't.
No, it's your turn to do this one. No, I did that yesterday. And we would go back and forth. Tyler and I were always like, it seemed like we were great buddies. We're still great buddies.
Yeah.
But we were always like back and forth. Yeah.
Well, I have a question. So when did you get to progress to driving something? When was that? Do you remember a
Yeah.
conversation? You were like, I'm ready for the lawnmower. Because that was the big
the lawnmower.
dream job. I remember even for me, the first time that I was able to drive the big green lawnmower, it was one that Pops had got, I think at an auction. Yeah. And it was really cool. It was super wide. And I remember driving that. And it was like a golf course lawnmower. And it was really wide. And it was so much fun. And you do all the different levels of like cut. And so I loved that.
Yes.
It was our favorite thing. We'd get all tan.
No, I never got to drive that one.
You didn't?
Never got to drive that one.
It probably died.
By the time I was old enough to drive the lawnmowers, that one was already gone.
Well, you know what?
We were on the Hustlers.
Those are better. Those are more fun because you can almost ride a wheelie. So when did you like switch over?
So, well, okay. I remember a conversation where I talked to Pops and I was like, all right, Daddy, I want to drive the lawnmower. And he's like, so then he upgraded me. I got to drive the weed eater. Yeah, so that was a big deal. Yeah,
Drive the weed eater?
That's what Pops would say.
He'd say you got to drive the weed eater first before you can do the lawnmower.
Because he wanted to sound special, but I saw through it. I knew it wasn't as glamorous as the mower.
Still a machine.
You know, I was excited at first, but then after about 5 minutes of holding the driving the weed eater, I was a little bit. Some people call it weed whacker. All right, if you're from different areas of the country, a weed whacker or, weed whipper. I don't know what you call it. Anyways, yeah, weed eater. Though. I mean, after running that for about 5 minutes, I was
you were
a little
like,
tired of it.
I'm ready for I'm ready for my next
I'm ready for the long
job.
So that's something about Arkansas, which is crazy, is you can drive at 14. You can get your permit at 14.
Yeah.
How young did you have little Duggar kids? Because you guys have probably 10 acres or so.
More than that. 22 acres on the
How young were they driving this lawnmower around the property?
Well, let's see. It's kind of, by the time they started getting, the older kids started moving on, it started getting younger and younger because they needed, Pops was like, let's just throw them out there. So like, I was on there about probably 12 or 13 whenever I started driving the lawnmower. But it wasn't consistently because all the other boys were still mowing. But I was able to do it at that point. And then about 14, when I got my permit is when I really was mowing a lot more. And then Tyler and I would go, we'd mow the lawns and stuff. And he was younger. And by the time I was probably about 15, right before I got my license at 16, it's probably whenever Tyler and I we were kind of the mowing crew at that point. And when I turned 16, we would go and do all the properties around because I just had my driver's license. And I would take the truck and trailer and load up all the mowers and weeders and all that. We would go do all the properties. And that's where I get paid for, cause see, if I just did like the chores I had at the house, I wouldn't get paid for those.
Right.
But whenever I would or if I did like extra things, like I cleaned out the shop, I'd get paid. Like if I did if I went and did
above and beyond.
Yeah. Above and beyond, basically above and beyond. And then whenever
how much you getting paid to clean out the shop? How big is the shop, first of all?
Shop is huge. Yeah, it's big.
Like a warehouse.
It's probably about the size of our house. I mean, if not bigger. 7,000 square feet is the house, so it's probably bigger. It's bigger than that for sure. So I don't know. I would get it depending on how much of it. Like I would just clean out sections of the shop, and it would just be hourly.
He's curious because he's like, how much should I be paying my child?
Was it $2 an hour? Was it 25 cents an hour?
Whenever I was younger, it was less.
Yeah.
Just because I did.
We'll go to
McDonald's. Yeah. Sometimes it would be like lunch. Like he would just take us to lunch and
I can borrow.
Just getting to hang out with Pops. Getting to finish school early and go like work with Pops was the main. That was the payment. Was just being there, and so yeah. It was different payments sometimes, but then, later on is whenever I got paid more, like just as I started to actually be able to lift things and move things and not be in the way as much and actually be helping.
Were there any chore disasters that you lived through to tell the tale?
What do you mean by chore disaster?
Well, I don't know.
Did you create a disaster ever at the shop? Did you get in
the house?
Cars, working on cars?
I remember one time so my first car that I bought.
How old were you?
I was 14, I think.
Wow.
Maybe I was 13.
Did it have an engine?
It did. And it was, and Jed
nice.
and Jed had helped me get it because Jed was, doing cars at that point. and he found one for really cheap. And I had worked enough and made enough money where I had about I think it was probably like $400, $500.
Wow.
And it was, it had a smash on the side. The bumper was pushed in, and Jed helped me find a bumper and a door and different things like that. So I started working on this and got it. And I got it to where I was running. And I remember backing this thing up, and I was pulling out of the shop and I was backing up, and then it stopped, and it stopped right into Elijah's truck. Oh, and I was like, oh no, what did I do? I pulled forwards and I was so scared. I remember I was just like, oh no, what did I just do? I put in park and I hopped out and I ran back there and I looked at Elijah's truck and there was nothing. His truck was like a solid, had the solid bumper on the front. And then I looked back at mine and it had this dent in the back, and I was like, oh no, what did I do? But thankfully Jed was like, he ran over there and he's like, are you good? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I just messed up my car. And he's like, oh, it's all right. Let's see if we can pop that out. So he just put his hand up in the back of the bumper and was able to pop it out. So not really a chore as much, but just my first car. I just kind of,
Hey, you mentioned Elijah. Some people don't know who Elijah is.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing. You guys, the Duggar house is constantly buzzing.
Yes.
And there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
There's kids. There's like 3-4 generations running around. And sometimes you're going, I don't know whose kid this is.
Yeah.
And there's just kids, there's people. But then there are friends that actually like moved into the Duggar house and like lived with you guys. Elijah's one of those.
Yes.
Where did Elijah come from?
So Elijah, this is good. Okay, so he's a Hawaiian. Elijah was Hawaiian, and he a long time ago when he was 18 years old. I don't know how I don't know what year this was, but it was you'd probably remember John and Jana went to Indonesia.
Yeah.
And they met Elijah on a mission trip.
Is that where they met Elijah?
That's where they met him. He was on the mission trip in Indonesia. And then they came back from Indonesia, and after a while, John was like, hey, there's this guy who we know from the mission trip. He wants to somehow we had met Elijah. I think he maybe came over to the conference, one of the conferences at one point. And then met us. He met somehow. And he called up Popson one day, and he was living in California at this point. He had got his EMT license and he had his pilot's license. So he had two different licenses, and he was kind of in California, just kind of in a rough spot in different areas, and just said, hey, I really want to, I want to come work for you if that's all right, just for a couple weeks. And so he's like, all right, yeah, come on over. Jana and John spoke highly of him, so he came over and started working. The first thing he did was he worked on Baylor. And worked over there on one of those projects that Pops had going, and construction and all that, and ended up, coming for he was going to be there for like 9 weeks, and ended up staying for 9 years now.
Sheesh.
So,
because I remember he got there whenever I was talking to Jeremy. I think it was around that time.
Yeah.
Is that when you
right around when we were married. It was before we were married, so it's been. We've been married for 9 years. So was it a little bit? It was probably 9.5 years.
It's probably about 10 now.
So, okay.
Yeah, he's married now and he lives.
He lives on the property.
Well, he lives he has his own place.
His own place.
Yeah, he has his own place now, him and his wife. And
so if somebody shows up and is just living in the Duggar house, said Elijah, do they have to do chores? Or are they just...
So...
How does that happen? Do they just get incorporated into the Do they wake up and have a sticker on their chest with their chores?
Chore pack. Yeah. Elijah, here's your chore pack.
Yeah, if he's watching this, he'd be laughing. No, he kind of just came in working, and so it was interesting because he just kind of had his own. We just made him a spot, and he just brought in all of his stuff and just kind of started getting incorporated into it. But it just kept going, right? He just kept staying and longer and
kept doing more projects,
just kept working, and the projects just never stopped.
And
ended up mowing all the lawns and doing everything, right? And stayed longer than a lot of Jim Bob's own sons who got married and went off, and so
stayed longer than Jim Bob's own sons.
Yep.
Good night.
So it's actually funny though, because Pops and Mama, they're Elijah's like their
now he's their favorite son.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, their 11th son.
It's funny.
And so he just 11th, and then Tyler. He was there before Tyler.
Wow.
So Tyler and I believe he was there before Tyler. I think he.
How long did Tyler live with you guys?
Tyler was with us for 9 years, and I think it was 9
years.
That's crazy.
8 or 9. I can't remember.
Whoa.
Something like that. So yeah.
I didn't realize it was that
Tyler is our cousin.
Yes.
So
Tyler Tyler came to stay with us. And then he ended up going to help his grandparents and moved back with his grandparents to help them as they're getting a little older. But yeah.
That's wild.
So
that's crazy.
Okay, I've got a question, Jen, for you, because the chores, it sounds like you had all the grungy chores. You had trash, you had weed whacking, all that stuff. What was the responsibilities of like a 10-year-old Ginger in the house?
Yeah, my chores. So for a while, I think all of us did a bit of gathering laundry. So gathering laundry for a bit, I remember that being my chore when I was really little. And then after the laundry, I think I went to like dishes and laundry. And I like to do dishes and laundry to this day. Like yesterday, I was looking around and I was a little bit bored, to be honest. In the evening, I was like, okay, what are we going to do? We had
Holidays are fun, but then they can be boring too.
We had a little window of time between pickleball and a movie. And I was like, I'm going to go do dishes. I want to clean the house. So I just like go do dishes. That's my thing. Or laundry. I'll just go fold laundry. It's fun. So
or make tater tot casserole.
I think make tater tot casserole, right. So I remember that being my job. But grandma came in, Grandma Duggar. She would do laundry when she moved in.
Right.
Before her, it was Nana. So we had a friend who was so sweet. She was our piano teacher. And this story, I don't know if we've ever told it on the pod, but like my mom was in a season where she was very overwhelmed with a lot of littles. She was at piano lessons one day and she was falling asleep. And the piano teacher was so precious. She was like, hey, if you need help. No, she said, what were you doing? Why are you so tired? And my mom was like, well, I mean, for one, I have 19 kids. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't at that point. It was early on. And she said, I stayed up late doing laundry. And this lady was like, oh, I love doing laundry. So she said, can I come help you with your laundry? So my mom agreed and let her piano teacher from church come and help her with laundry. So Nana started out, she would come to our house like 1 day a week. And then it went to 2 days. Then it went to like 3 days a week. She would come and do laundry. And then she didn't drive either. We would go pick her up, bring her to our house. She would do laundry for like all day. And then she would leave the laundry room perfectly clean. And then she'd go home. And then she would come another day for piano lessons. And then she'd go home.
You guys would pick her up and bring her.
Bring her every time. And then
I remember going over and picking her up, riding along to pick her up.
Yeah, it was so sweet.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where she blessed our family for, I can't even remember how many years, until she ended up, she had fallen and broke her hip. And then that kept her out of being able to do laundry for a while. But she still wanted us to bring her over to the house. So she would come sit at the house and still teach piano. Yep. And then still fold laundry sitting because she wanted to do laundry. She just wanted to do it for us.
Well, I think she probably really wanted
and
to
she wanted to be near us.
Serve you guys.
And that was the sweetest thing.
Yeah. And she became like one of your closest friends.
Yeah.
When we got married.
And I'm probably going to get all teary-eyed talking about her because
Sweet Nana.
I have so many letters. So I wrote her letters for, it was around, let's see, how many years? 6 years or so after we were married. I have stacks of letters from Nana. She would write me about every single month. I have letters from her. Wow. And I would write her and I would tell her what we were up to. She'd always ask how Jeremy was doing in Laredo ministry. And then she would always tell me what song she was playing for church. She'd play their offertory, like when they were doing their offering, she'd play like a song. And then she'd ask me what I played. When I started playing for church a little bit here, she was so excited because she was like, I'm so glad you get to serve the church in that way. That's amazing. And she always wanted to know what we were up to. So I love her. So Nana, Chores, she had done laundry for so long. And then when she couldn't anymore, Grandma moved in with Grandpa. And then Grandma was like, oh, I like to do laundry. So she started doing laundry for us. But I was still in charge of the laundry room a lot. So I would fold and put away the clothes. And then other times, like, I did dishes for a while until Mom got all the boys doing dishes in the hot kitchen.
Tyler,
and that's
that was
something.
that was our other chore.
That is something we need to talk about. The 3-minute dishwasher. Mm-hmm. There was a 3-minute dishwasher. I don't know if you've heard of this.
dishwasher. Huge. Like if you go to a
Massive.
kitchen, if anyone's worked in a kitchen,
Really?
you'll see it. It's those
Restaurants.
big, or a restaurant, restaurant, kitchen, anything like that. You'll see them. They're those big, aluminum looking. They're steel,
Massive.
but they're massive. They're square box, and basically you slide all the tray full of dishes in, and then you close this thing down, and it just goes to
Sounds like a
town on
machine, like
this dish.
swishing around boiling water.
Yep.
And you put a sanitizer. There's a sanitizer system that's in there that dispenses the soap into it.
I can still picture
Goes,
all the sounds for it.
Yeah. And then it's done. You pull it out, and then it also would it dry? For a while, it dried them.
Really?
It did, right?
That's crazy.
And then I think that broke.
because we would pull them out.
But
No,
I
remember
think,
we'd
Jack,
pull them out and we would
there
just,
was a drying system for
Really?
a while, wasn't there? Or maybe
No
it was
idea.
always in my dreams.
maybe
But
it was. I remember.
Maybe your younger
I remember
Because we
pulling
would
them out and
dry,
drying
and then we
them.
put them, or we just
Yeah.
put the racks out and let them air dry on big bath towel. We'd have a big bath towel.
Wow.
Yep.
You'd set the big trays on there, and you'd put them all along.
You guys still have that?
We do actually. Yeah, it's at the shop. Yeah, all of our industrial equipment is at the shop still.
Wow.
So it still works. If we'd have to work on it, maintenance and stuff. But yeah, it would still work. But that, yeah, I remember that y'all used that a lot more. I think by the time Tyler and I were along,
You're hand washing.
We were hand washing, and Tyler was fast. Tyler was
That's
fast at
scary.
dishwashing.
That's scary.
Yeah, yeah, seriously. But like I would always double check, because I was the rinser. So he would just boom, put it in my like my side
in your barrel. Okay,
And it
so
was
when he's
massive.
saying that, it's one of those industrial sinks, and they would be full. All three barrels.
all
They
three of
are.
them.
They're at least how many feet is this? 3. They were like 3 feet.
It was a
deep,
bat like it was
3
a
feet
bathtub.
wide.
It was
and
half
there
of
were
a
three
bathtub.
of them,
Wow.
and they were always full of
Yeah.
dishes.
Wow.
Imagine
And that
just
was just
half
from
of a
cooking.
bathtub for a sink, and you could, fill that thing up, and if you were half the bathtub size, you could fit in that thing.
So that became the boys' chores were the dishes because
Yep.
some of the boys cooked, some of them didn't like it, but they would definitely get
Yeah,
on
we'd all-
dishes duty.
I remember one time we had some friends over. This was at New Year's party, and we had probably 500 people to the house. And afterwards, there were so many dishes. I literally remember there was like no dishes left in the house. We had used almost every single dish, and so we decided we're gonna finish the dishes, all of them. And they weren't just in the sink at this point. They were stacked all over the counters, all over the entire kitchen,
Back kitchen
because there
area.
were so many dishes that were dirty. And we had some friends there who were like, let's tackle this together. And we knocked it out in 38 minutes, and we broke like 4 dishes. and I remember we had MD Sias with
Oh,
us.
my goodness.
And we were singing.
That guy was a
and
character.
He is MD. We love you, MD. And we were just, I'm giving so many shout outs to so many people. I love this. All right. So we were just going at it with the dishes. It was
It's like
great.
a challenge. So when
Yes.
you're in a setting like that, even in the restaurant business, it's like being in the restaurant business. You see how many customers you can serve in a certain amount of time. It was like that with our house because I remember so many times we had, like you said, the dishes were piled up, but the laundry was piled up. And it was like, to this day, I like to see how fast I can get it done. I know you're coming home. I'm like, Jeremy's coming home. I'm going to knock out the dishes and put away all the laundry before he gets home in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Boom. And it's like a thing. Like it's so much fun.
And these were not just like your small dish. These were pots, and
Massive
pans,
pans.
and like
And they're
all the silverware,
Wow,
like
yeah.
everything. It was
Industrial
really
equipment.
fun. We had a blast.
like it.
Yeah.
So dishes, laundry. The other thing I remember
Mopping
doing
the floor.
was mopping the floor. I liked it sometimes because I felt like I got a good workout. My arms would be a little sore. I'd be like, that's it. I don't have to lift any weights. But then I'm thinking about grocery shopping. We've talked about this before,
wow.
but that was one thing I loved to do.
It was like traveling every
yeah,
day.
it
You
was
had to
so much
load up all
fun.
the- can you imagine buckling 19 seat? No, I'm kidding.
But all the grocery shopping, I remember at one point that kind of became my chore, which sounds funny, but it's like I would go and I knew, okay, I'm going to go to Sam's Club, I'm going to go to Aldi, I'm going to go to Walmart, and I would just buy like whatever was on the shopping list. And my mom, she was so organized. Initially, she had grocery shopping lists that were paper. For years, she would print them off and it would be like, we'd have all of our regular stuff. And next to each item, it would be mushroom soup for mushroom soup for our tater tot casserole, evaporated milk, canned green beans, because we eat green bean salt and vinegar out of the can all the time, corn, like all the things we'd get. She had those printed out on a list, and then she'd check off what she wanted that time, or circle or X out. She put a line through whatever she didn't want us to buy that week. Yeah. Because we would buy the same things over and over. But what that did was it provided a framework for our shopping. And so if we knew, we're having green bean casserole tonight with our, pasta or whatever, then we could just circle all those items that were already on the master shopping list and know exactly what store to get them from, because that's going to be the cheapest. And so it was a whole system, and I remembered loving that. Like,
I didn't actually know
the grocery shopping
that side of it. I never had to do the shopping side of it.
Yeah.
You know?
And then the cozy calendar. So she switched to cozy calendar.
What's a cozy calendar?
It's Brilliant. Cozy's the app.
That's the app.
Yeah, Cozy.
Oh, okay.
So she switched to that. I don't remember. It was before I was married. Yes.
This is a big contention for us. She loves Apple calendars.
Yes.
No, she
I like
loves
Google.
And
he likes Apple.
I like Apple.
We're on different pages.
So cozy calendar is color coded, and it also allows you to do lists. So we had a shopping list.
Calendar.
We had a shopping list, and it had Sam's, Aldi, Walmart, our main ones.
It also had
and
our
then
money.
And it had our money.
Our chores, how much we made off of
Yes, how much you make off of additional chores. Yeah. And it was like a bank account, basically.
What?
And it would put in all of your
Some of you guys still have money on there. I saw someone on there the other day, like Justin.
Do I have like $500?
And he's got like $1,200 in there.
You got to tell him. Let him know.
I
still have it. But it was brilliant, because then Mom decided finally she stopped having to like add on a paper list. And then if we were out at the store, we could just check the cozy calendar, and under Walmart, she would have put in whatever she needed. So if she needed half and half cheese, bread, then whoever was out at that time could use that list just to grab whatever we needed.
Wow.
So she was so organized. I think she needs to write an organization book.
The moral of the story is, this whole conversation is Mama is a CEO, and she needs to write a book, like you're saying. She just needs to write a book on how to be the successful CEO,
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, people picture this Duggar house being like wild frenzy chaos, but somehow she made it work.
It was
really
loud.
Was your mom.
It was loud, but it was not chaos. And the way I feel like that's another thing too. I never really remember much of like you see like what's that show with the 6 kids? The
Busby's?
I can't remember, like three boys, 3 girls, and they lived in that house, and I can't remember what it's called now.
Oh.
Is it a movie?
Yeah, Pops always is talking about their house, how their house was made in a museum recently.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And we know.
It's
it matters?
It's
an old
Full
one.
House.
Full House, yeah.
No.
It's something about
yeah.
family.
Da-da-da-da. What is it?
Oh, the Brady Bunch.
Brady Bunch. That's it. I couldn't remember. I knew exactly what it looked like.
So like, you know how they're always at each other's throats, right? Like they're always like, it seems like that.
Yeah.
Well, like that's what a lot of people thought like the big house was. Like it's always like everyone's at each other's throats. But like it wasn't like that.
Yep.
Like there was a lot of peace, I felt like, at least. It was not ever like bickering back and forth at each other's throats.
Yep.
It was really a lot of Mom and Pops taught us Matthew 18. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, if your brother has offense against you, you go make it right with them, and you humble yourself. So I'd come, Johanna, she's doing this and she did that, and they'd be like, okay, what did you do wrong, Jackson? Like, let look at what you did wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Well, if you can't solve this, like if you actually you were doing this right, and you were coming to us and giving us the correct side of the story, and you already tried to talk with her first. Right. If you go to your what is it? The verse says, if you go to the altar and there remembers that thy brother has aught against thee, leave thy gift before the altar and go make it right with your brother.
Good old King James.
Yeah, and if you exactly. I memorized King James. And if you make it right with your brother, then you've gained him as a friend, as your brother again. And if he doesn't listen, then take another witness with you. And at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every deed should be accounted for, or something like that. So, anyways, but like they would take us. All right, did you talk with them first? Okay, then you can come to us and we'll go talk with them. Right. But if you didn't do that, then you're not actually doing.
You have to go back for step 1, which was helpful, because then you don't have all the tattling that a lot of siblings are like. she said this, she did that. But they'd say, talk it out first and then come to us. And then they would go and like, you'd sit down and talk with mom and dad. Like, okay, they said this, I said that.
And they would always tell us, it was never, okay, well, they did this to me. Okay, did you actually do that to them? She would say, okay, no. Like they would hear our side of the story, but then they'd say, okay, all you're doing right now is saying what Johanna did to you, Jackson. But Jackson, what did you do to Johanna? And they would tell us to say what we actually did. And then I'd be like, well, Johanna would be like, he said, no, Johanna, let Jackson. All right, Jackson, what did you? And we would have to be the humble one and actually say what we did and
That's
actually own up to it. And in that way, and then we would, from there move on to whatever consequences were needed.
Yeah.
But it was just, I think that was really interesting. The way that was dealt with.
Yeah, it's incredible to see. Your mom was, and your dad, but I think your mom played a big role in the organization. I mean, that's a real gift. I wonder what Mrs. Duggar would have been like as a CEO.
Yeah.
But, it's cool to see she's made a bigger impact raising her kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And investing in them and using those skills, some probably born out of necessity. Like, I have to get this thing.
She said she was never an organizer. That was the thing. She said that she was an organizer out of,
special grace.
And also out of necessity. She said, I became an organizer because I had to, because things were not working.
Yeah.
And so she created systems. And we actually should have Mom on the podcast to talk about some of those systems. She has
that'd be brilliant
ideas. Like, I want her to get into one other thing real quick. The organization of like file boxes that she used. She had a system with a recipe card that had a number on it. It would be number 1, 2, 3, 4, like all the way to 20, whatever. And then on each recipe card, it would say like what was in the box. And then she'd write number 1 on the box. And then she'd go to a recipe card, look through it and say, oh, what's in that file box?
Wow.
And it could be a keepsake. It could be a punch bowl. And then she'd stack them all up and have them on a shelf. And then you'd see like what was in there. It was a organization
organize
system.
all that.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
I can't
Like she
keep
must
my
have been doing it in the middle of the night. Like she must have been waking up in the middle of the night and just like sitting there doing all the organizing. And then during the day, it was like packed with everything that she had to do. Right.
We need to have her on to talk about that because it does boggle my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at shelves in front of me right now that are really less than pretty.
They're organized.
Meh.
There's some boxes.
But literally, like she'll come whenever I've had a baby or she's visiting, and she goes down to our cabinets, and she's so sweet. She always asks, "Is it okay if I organize this? I would love to get you some containers." So she got like my house was so unorganized before I had Finn, and she came and was waiting she was on baby watch. And she organized. It was so helpful. Like all of the cabinets above my laundry room, I had a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted organized. It was a mess. The kids' closets, she got containers for that. Everything was labeled. And I still have stuff from Laredo that she labeled and organized. Wow. It's incredible. She has such a gift.
Yeah,
she does that everywhere she goes. I remember on vacation, or like even just like the care. I think just like the care that she carries everywhere she goes, it's so incredible. We'll be on vacation, somewhere, and we'll meet a random family right on the beach or whatever, and she's just so kind and caring and like wanting to like if the kids are playing with the toys, she's just so like kind and caring and I don't know, it's just incredible.
Yeah,
incredible. Just everything, everywhere she goes, she just is always caring about people.
She is other people.
You have an amazing mom. I think the Lord did give her a lot of grace to run that household because that could have been chaos and disaster. But it wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, Jack, thanks for sharing being vulnerable about your chore experiences.
Yeah.
Really.
Chore packs.
Chore packs.
I think I'm actually going to implement
wild.
that for ours. Because
we're going to order those. We're going to go on Amazon and see if they have chore packs.
Mama made them too. Like,
hey,
she did.
They were
honestly, it's not a bad business idea.
Brilliant. I think somebody already did that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jack, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
And glad to have you around the house, hanging with the kids. You are challenging James as top Funkle. Ooh. I'm just saying, the more time you spend around the house, the more James has his work cut out for him because the girls, they enjoy having you around. Ooh. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out, and thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, get the updates on the pod on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the places, and we will see you next week.